Are you a mother? Do you want to be a mother? Did you never want to be a mother? Something about motherhood evokes these really strong responses in so many women, including me. In this podcast episode, I talk about the time when I was traveling in Kerala and a stranger stopped me on the street and asked me where my kids were. And it brought forward all these thoughts and ideas about motherhood, which I share with you in this episode. I'm out for a walk in a small village in Kerala. It is 6 p.m. and the day is starting to lose its heavy heat. Although the tar on the road is still sticking to the underside of my trainers, it's that hot, humid and muggy. I'm staying with my uncle and my aunt. When I told them that I wanted to go for a walk, they advised me to not stray too far away from the neighborhood streets so I wouldn't get lost. There are neat little houses all along both sides of the street. Every house dotted with swaying coconut palms and jackfruit trees. You can smell the jackfruit all the way from the street. They have that sort of sweet, overpowering scent. But it is the coconut trees that I always associate with being in Kerala. If anyone from Kerala ever bothered to count all the coconut trees, although most of us Kerala-born folks would rightly call you crazy for even attempting to do anything like that. But if you did count them all, you would probably count many, many millions and millions of coconut trees in Kerala. I also notice all the stunning tropical flowers. They form an explosion of colours on the boundary walls of each little house. The bright red hibiscus fighting for space with the bright pink orchids. The white roses competing for your attention alongside the sweet scented jasmine. So yes, I'm on a beautiful little walk in my uncle's quiet little neighborhood. A woman unlatches the little black gate of her house. She's wearing a crumpled cotton sari and holding a stick broom in her hand. She smacks the broom on the gate and smiles at me. I smile back. She unlocks the gate, steps out and walks towards me, smile still in place. I pause my walk. She obviously wants to say something to me. "Where is your home?" she asks. The stock question every Malayali person will ask another Malayali person. Whether you bump into each other in a small Kerala village or Carnaby Street in crowded central London. By the way, just so you know, Malayalis are how you call people from Kerala, not Keralites. Anyway, I tell this woman I'm staying in the next street at my uncle's house. While these sorts of questions might seem rude in many cultures, among Malayalis it is like common, like talking about the weather in Britain. She continues smiling at me and asks, "Where are your children?" I stop in my tracks. My smile freezes on my face. Where are your children? I stutter some sort of answer and walk on, my trainers sounding very determined to get away from her. As I walk, I first process my annoyance. How dare she assume I have kids? I then start to think about the fact that in this small village in Kerala, a woman is nothing without her children. This woman I met assumed I would have children, because surely that is the primary purpose of every woman, is it not? My Western clothes and my brown, blondish highlights showed her that I clearly didn't live in Kerala. But my body showed her that I was old enough to have kids. Then of course I would have had kids. She implied that not only should I have kids, but that I would be constantly attached to these kids every second of every day of my life. I felt the annoyance of her comment chafing at me like a pair of uncomfortable shoes pinching me. Of course, I could just dismiss her comment, telling myself that she's from this tiny village and she can't possibly comprehend that a woman like me could have a big, exciting life in London that didn't include kids. But here's the thing, whether it's folks from small Indian villages or politicians in large American cities, or even most people in modern European towns, Most people still believe that a woman's primary purpose is to have kids. We are born with wombs, therefore we must reproduce. We've been given qualities like empathy and caring, therefore we must use them to raise children. I've had so many conversations with so many women in so many different parts of the world where women will ask me about my kids. And when I tell them I don't have kids, the first thing I see is this, oh, you poor thing sort of expression on their faces. Because most of them assume I don't have kids because I cannot have kids. Hence the sympathy. The next thing that I say always triggers many women. When I tell them that I didn't have kids because I never wanted kids, that I always saw a life for myself that was free of children, women usually go quiet. Some look annoyed, some downright furious. Many of them will act as if my choice to not have kids is a direct attack on their choice to have children. No, it isn't. I always want to say this to them. I'm glad motherhood is your choice and that it brings you joy. But like I respect your choice, please respect my choice to be child-free. Things are particularly bad among South Asian groups. White British women are too polite to ask too many questions, but South Asian women, not so much. They will usually say, "Who will look after you when you're old?" To which I often want to say, isn't that a really selfish reason to bring another human being into the world? Sometimes they'll say, if everyone thought like you, the human race would die out. Nope. The planet is overpopulated, and we are stripping the earth of its resources by adding to the population. So actually, many of us having many, many children will eventually kill the planet and the human race. Then there's the old classic, they say. You'll never know love like a mother's love. I do believe there are many avenues for my love, not just the love for children. Then so many people will say this. Women without kids are so selfish. Excuse me, but I see many, many parents behaving quite selfishly, whether that's on public transport or in supermarkets or on airplanes or hotels, sometimes more so than people without kids. Sadly, the fact is though, most people still believe in this day and age that women without kids are selfish. A well-known American politician recently called child-free women, and I quote, childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and their choices. Things are so much worse when you're Indian though. We are trained to be mothers from the minute we emerge from our own mother's wombs. We are trained to look after our little brothers and sisters. We are taught to wait upon our assorted male relatives, anticipating their every need and then fulfilling them. We are coached in making cups and cups of chai the right way, fluffing up the rotis and rice just so, and maintaining the intricacies of a household. Most women from South Asian cultures are so conditioned to be wives and mothers from such an early age that it would not even occur to me that there is a choice about the matter. I can tell you this, not even for 1 second in many decades did I wish that I had kids. The choice that I made all those decades ago was absolutely the right choice for me. Here's the other thing most people assume about childless women, that we must hate kids, and that is why we chose not to have them. No, I actually love kids. I love watching them play because you can see how wholeheartedly they play and they fight and they laugh. Qualities that most of us lose by the time we become adults. This is the most important thing that I want to share with you today on this podcast episode. As I've been doing the feminist activism with Soul Sutras for all these years, I now see all the girls in the world through an almost maternal lens, particularly as I grow older. I feel like all the girls are sort of like my daughters, all these millions and millions of girls. So when I meet young women and girls, I feel this sort of protectiveness towards them, I want to shield them from some of the crap this patriarchal world will dish out to them. I feel this love for them even though I don't know them. I'm working very hard with all my work and my podcast to make the world a better place for all the girls. And I will continue to do that until my dying breath. So I guess in a sense you could say I'm more of a mother to more kids than most mothers will ever be.
Sharm, Badtameez, Chi.
I'm Sangeeta Pillai and this is Masala Podcast Unfiltered, the same multi-award-winning podcast that you love, just a little bit different. I'm going to be chatting with you a whole lot more. I'm going to be more real with you, more raw, more vulnerable. I hope that makes you feel less alone in your own life journey. I'm going to give myself the space and the grace to be just me. I hope that gives you the space to be more you.